2018. Feeling good, feeling trim, practicing what I was preaching. I was eating a low-carb, paleo-based diet. I was intermittent fasting. I was exercising. And I had maintained the same weight for years. And then something happened. I gained 20 pounds in 6 months. Me, the nutritionist, the weight loss expert, the hormone specialist. What happened? I hit menopause. Or should I say, menopause hit me like a freight train. Now, although it's unusual to hit menopause at the age of 42, which I was, it's not unusual for women to gain a lot of weight very quickly from losing their hormones, even those that are doing everything right. We begin perimenopause typically between the ages of 35 and 40, and we begin to lose 3 vital hormones: estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. And between the ages of 35 and 40, the first to go is progesterone. It takes a deep dive, as you can see from the graph. Now, we produce the majority of our progesterone when we ovulate. And as we start getting into our late 30s, early 40s, we don't ovulate as often, and eventually we don't ovulate at all. So progesterone goes down, down, down. Now, progesterone is key for metabolism. When you produce progesterone, your metabolism actually goes up. So over time, we're not producing very much progesterone anymore, which means the metabolism starts to go down. Progesterone is also super important for sleep. It acts on what's called the GABA receptors of your brain. And you've probably all heard of GABA. It's in a lot of supplements, a lot of sleep supplements. It's very calming. So without the progesterone, now we're not sleeping so well. And we know when you're not sleeping, you can actually become insulin resistant from poor sleep. Even just one night of poor sleep can raise your blood glucose. And because progesterone is super important for that relaxation, calming effect, without it, we can start getting anxiety. And I'm sorry, ladies, but who really wants to eat that great big bowl of healthy salad with that lean chicken breast on top with the olive oil on it when you haven't slept, you're a little bit insulin resistant, and you've got anxiety? No, we want the bowl of chocolate with some ice cream on top and maybe a little bit of whipped cream drizzled on the top. And weight starts to go up. Then between the ages typically of 45 and 50, we start to lose estrogen, a specific estrogen called estradiol. And most women, we associate estrogen with weight gain. But actually, the loss of estradiol can cause more weight gain than any other hormonal loss. Why? Because estradiol is needed to help process blood glucose. So as estrogen begins to drop, blood glucose begins to rise, and we become even more insulin resistant, and we start to store that energy as fat. Bad cholesterol will start to go up. Estradiol is needed to make a very important antidepressant neurotransmitter called serotonin. So now we've got the low metabolism, we're not sleeping, we've got anxiety, oh, and we're depressed. Let's just throw that on top. Yeah, we're really wanting to eat healthy now, aren't we? More weight gain, and typically all in the belly. Oh, lucky us. Hey ladies, lucky us. Now testosterone, most women think of testosterone as a man's hormone, and it's all for the guys. Well, we produce more testosterone than we do estrogen or progesterone in our fertile years. So testosterone begins to drop, and testosterone is needed to maintain and build muscle tissue. And the more muscle you have, the better your metabolic rate is going to be. As well, muscle helps us to process blood glucose. And as we start losing this testosterone, we can develop sarcopenia, the loss of muscle. And once again, blood sugar can continue to go up. More weight gain. 80% of women will feel the symptoms of perimenopause. And one of the most common symptoms reported is weight gain. And 100% of you women, if you have not already, will lose ovarian function. And you cannot run your way out of that. You cannot supplement your way out of that. You cannot intermittent fast your way out. And you cannot diet your way out of hormonal loss. Now, don't get me wrong. All of those things have to be part of this picture, have to be part of this journey through to menopause. We have to eat well. We have to intermittent fast. We've got to sleep. We've got to watch our stress levels. We've got to maintain the muscle. We need community. We need each other more than any other time while we go through menopause. But without these vital hormones, you will only get so far. We know that women who replace their hormones have a drastic improvement in overall health and vitality. We also know from extensive research that the majority, not all, but the majority of women can safely replace their hormones. We know from the research that replacing your hormones can actually reduce your risk of cardiac mortality by up to 47%. That is the #1 killer of women. We know from a recent study that women who replaced their estradiol for 6 years or longer in menopause had up to a 75 to 80% reduction in developing Alzheimer's and dementia, also known as type 3 diabetes. We know from a cohort study on menopausal women that the women who replaced their hormones had a whopping 69% reduction in developing type 2 diabetes. We know from the research that women who replace their hormones can have up to a 33% reduction in all-cause mortality, up to 30% reduction in all cancers, including breast cancer. And we know from the research that the women who replace their hormones have less weight gain than the women who don't. So ladies, if you want to sail through this time, feeling your best, looking your best, you have got to mind your hormones. Thank you.